Good afternoon, everyone. It is the 29th of November, which means it is almost the last day of NaNoWriMo. This morning it started out rainy, grey clouds, and now the sun is peeking through here in the Netherlands, but it's still cold outside, so I don't mind it being inside and writing. Um, with NaNoWriMo, it's always the biggest question if you can make that 50k, that 50,000 words. And I am here to help you with that. For those who don't know me, my name is Ilse. I am a dragon companion, magic ruler, and creator of worlds. And one of the worlds I have created is Tergaenae, and I am writing books in that world. And to help you along your journey, along your author journey, I will help doing several writing sprints today, and hopefully you will manage to reach your 50,000 words goal, or perhaps at least a lot closer to that goal. Yesterday was a good day for writing for me. Um, it was a fun day. I discovered lots of new things for my characters. And I managed to surprise several characters as well along the way. And today I will return to the background story I was originally writing, because right now I have enough information in a chapter I have been writing, or rather I have enough of a goal in a chapter I have been writing to be able to now write the background story to figure out what more information I need to make that chapter happen, and to make sure that everything is all right and is foreshadowed properly in earlier chapters and earlier books. So that is one of the things I will be doing today, continuing with my background story of Nasya and Nejat. Like I said earlier, it's slowly turning into a novel all on its own. Before Nano, I had already written a lot, and I think I'm now at I don't know, 40k for the background story. Let me see if I can. Let's see. Yes, right now I am for the full story already at 45,000 words, but a major part of that has been written before NaNoWriMo, so I will count that. And right now I am I gotta turn everything off again that I just turned on. Now I've got to check. I need to know again what I will do. That's the handy thing. If you start to check things, then at some point things don't add up anymore. Right. That needs to go as well. Yeah. Now I'm back. I am at 19,692 words, which is far from my goal of 50,000 words. But you know what? I don't care about that, because I managed to write a lot of what I needed, and um, to be able to continue that. So that's a good thing. And I mean, the background story itself is already about 50 or 48,000 words, so that is quite huge. And I'm satisfied with that. At least with progress it has at the moment. I'm far from finished with this background story because there is still a lot I need to write, a lot I need to know, and I don't know exactly yet where book one will start, and book one effectively starts at the end of the background story. So that's something to figure out. Oh, hi Jess, welcome. It's great to see you again today. Um, are you in? Are you up for several writing sprints? I hope you have the time to stay a bit longer today. I know you had to go yesterday. Um, it will be awesome to see you join in multiple writing sprints. In the meantime, I'm checking a few things. I seem to have lost a few words apparently. I just checked what I entered in NaNoWriMo, and somehow I may have deleted a few words. But you know what? That's okay. I don't mind. Um, Jess, it's great to see that you're absolutely up for several writing sprints. Well, let's get to it. And let me start you guys with a writing prompt. And writing prompt is breakfast. Now, like I said earlier in the other live streams, you do not have to take it literally. You can take it figuratively, but it can also be, for example, something that your character sees on TV or reads about. So take it as broad as you can, um, or as you will. Now, breakfast can be, I mean, every family and every culture, every country has its own types of breakfast. Here in the Netherlands, we often um, have breakfast with bread. Well, to be honest, I don't do that anymore. I usually have yogurt with bananas. Um, but it's quite normal to have bread with some meat or cheese or sweet things, and we'll have that for lunch as well before we have dinner time. Um, but I do know in England, the English is famous for um, eggs and sausages, or eggs and bacon. My apologies. Um, while the United States is famous for the pancakes. So every country and every culture has um, its own breakfast type and ingredients that they are famous for, but that they also really like to use and to eat. So keep that in mind, and see how that can help you. Just you say you're 2/3 chapters from the end of the book, so you're determined to get the last bit done. Excellent, excellent. Just one note, I hadn't finished my lunch yet, so during the writing sprint, I will turn off the camera and the sound, the mic, for a little while, so that I can finish my lunch, and then I will turn it back on. So if you see me disappearing, it's not a technical problem today. It's just because I want to finish my lunch. So let's get to it. We have, and again, I mean, that seems to be kind of to become kind of traditional for me. I always forget my clock, my timer. Okay, so I have a timer. We are ready to write. So let's start writing. 25 minutes for now. And I wish you all happy writing, and may your characters surprise you. Have fun. My apologies for disappearing on you guys. I've pretty much finished my lunch, so I'm back here. Happy writing. and that is the signal of the end of our first writing sprint. How did you guys do? I managed to write 601 words while also finishing my lunch, and thank you all for understanding. I am right now back in the background story, and I don't know if you guys remember, but Nejat was hurt, and of course, being the dragon companion he wanted to prioritize the rescuing of the platinums, which is a good thing, but he had to be treated twice by the small folk queen and Riri, and now he is in so much pain that his parabatai Ruark decided to send him back to Dragon City together with his brothers, because otherwise, you know, Nejat might just not listen and might just not go. So ordering Finlay and Seamus to go along with him is a pretty good idea, I think. Jess, you managed to write 446 words. Awesome. And you were stuck again. Oh, but you figured it out. Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. I'm very happy that you managed to figure it out. Well, I have to say, I got back into the story pretty easily. I was surprised by that. I mean, I have been writing for several days on that other chapter in one of the later books, so I hadn't expected that I would be able to just return to the background story and just simply keep on writing. But I managed to do that, so I'm happy with the result. It's when you reach milestones like that. I mean, I'm right now at 20,000 words, 20,290. And when you reach milestones like that, like 20k, it is satisfying. I have to admit that. And it's not so much that I have that amount of words, a certain goal of amount of words in my head that I need to have for my book or for my background story. It's more that I managed to make a lot of progress again, and that I managed to keep on writing and keep on working with these characters and in this world. And that is what I love about writing. It's sure, you can have your moments that you're stuck, and you can have a writer's block, and depending on what the cause of your writer's block is, it will take a short time to get out of it, or it will take a really long time. In my case, before I started writing this all, I had a severe writing block, and in the end it took me, I think, almost 2 years before I could go on again, because there were things that I needed to answer for myself, not even for the story, but for myself, before I could continue with the story. So a writer's block can work that way. Let's hope that you guys do not experience that. I mean, I wish you all a smooth journey. Sure, you will have moments that things do not work out as you have planned. That is all part of the journey. But at moments like this, and during months like this, with NaNoWriMo, when you are expected to write 50,000 words, that is, how shall I say that? It can be quite a hurdle if you are not used to it. It's quite a goal to achieve. I mean, 50,000 words, that's in essence, that's a novel. I mean, if I look at what I'm writing in a background story, like I said, it's almost it's about 45,000 words already, if I made the calculations correctly, and that is huge, and the background story itself is far from finished, let alone my main storyline. But this background story is a very good base to continue my main story. So I don't mind. It's even though I'm basically right now writing a novel that is the background story. It gives me so much information and so much things to work with that it's okay. But at the same time, if you are, how shall I say this? You shouldn't write a background story just to write a background story. In this case, I started writing it because there was so much information that I didn't know, so much things that I found that would be mentioned in the main stories. And of course, Nasya and Nejat, they were completely new characters for me when I returned to Tergaenae to write everything, and I needed to know more about them. Could I have made this differently? Maybe. At the same time, I needed details about their relationship, about how they came together, about other things that they have experienced before. And now that I'm writing this background story, I also see things, find things that I will use in my main story, in a story that follows this background story. There are things in this background story that are, let's say, quite vital to the main storyline. And the story of Nasya and Nejat is one of the many, one of the parts of the storyline that in the end comes together in the last book. So the background story is not only a background story for Nasya and Nejat, but you can also see it as a prequel that I'm writing. Effectively, it is a prequel. But right now I'm only writing it from, or I have only written it from Nejat's point of view. Nasya's point of view will come later on. That will give hilarious moments, I think, because she is quite the character, and that I already found. And Nejat also is quite the character, so yeah, that will give conflicts, and it will give all kinds of situations that might be, how should I say that might be weird or fun or hilarious even. So yeah, that will be those are all things that I will discover in the rest of the background story, and things that might be mentioned in the future books. In the future books, we will see also some flashbacks from Nasya and Nejat, flashbacks that have their origin in the background story, and that is why I decided to write this background story, because I needed that all to be correct and in the correct order, and to have proper details. And I mean, you can have flashbacks, but you need to make sure, and in the main storyline, I mean, but you need to make sure that the flashbacks are correct, that are correct at least for that character, that the character can have those memories, because in the end, the moment you start writing for that character and you have memories that are not correct, you might have an unreliable narrator, of course. In the basics, everyone has their own memories of a certain event, and that how shall I say that? It differs per person. So by default, person A A may remember something else than person B. So that's how it works. And of course, the large things, well, depending on when someone started to experience that certain event, large things will often be the same. But it depends on if you just walked into an event or if you have been there from the start. So that can also work. How should I say this? That can also work to show that characters can be quite different, and that the people around them can be quite different. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to write this background story, because there is so much happening in the main storyline that also goes back to the background, to the earlier story, to the history, in essence, that I knew that I needed that background story written. And even though it is essentially right now it is a novel on its own, and I didn't expect that. I had expected it to be a lot shorter. I have to admit that. But at the same time, this is a good progression. This is a good development, and at least for me, and for me to get to know the characters better and to get to know the history of them and the history of other things that have happened and that will further play out in the other books, and things that are right now happening in the background story will even work all the way up to the end of this series that I already know. So, and that is one more reason why this background story is so important. So I'll just keep on writing it, and then once it's finished and once I know how to move on to the main storyline, because there's this points that I have to know where this story ends, where this background story sort of ends and continues into the main storyline, and that is something I will figure out later on when I'm done writing this part. And I might even just simply continue writing on the whole story, the whole 5 books, and only then, once I've written the first draft of all those books, only then make the divisions into the prequel and the other books. I might even come to the conclusion that instead of this being a prequel, this will simply be the first book. I mean, I have no idea. I might come to that conclusion, but I might do things differently. I'll see that when I get there. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. So enough talking about me and Tergaenae. I would love to start another writing sprint, and I am going to see if I can find an interesting writing prompt for you all. I have many, because what I do is I have my Google feed on my cell phone, and basically every article that appears in my Google feed and that I somehow am triggered by is for me a writing prompt or a world building prompt, or something to use in the world of Tergaenae or the General Chronicles or J&C's Spectacle Lore. So there are a lot of things that can trigger the imagination. So I'm going to see if I can find something for you guys to trigger your imagination for your story. Let's see. Right. This is based on a news article from a few years ago.
volcanic rock. Now, volcanic rock can be on land, but it can also be on the sea, and in fact, it is more pumice, I think it is called, pumice, and it was a result of an underwater volcano in the Pacific Ocean, and that eruption caused a gigantic fleet of floating rocks of pumice, and they call it the pumice raft. So that is my writing prompt for you guys right now for this for the new writing sprint. A pumice raft or volcanic rocks. What does that mean for your character? Has she perhaps seen anything about it in a news article or on television? Has she been there herself? Or is it something simple like she has pumice stones? Or has found some volcanic rock that washed up on shore, and she took it home because she thought it looked nice. Things like that. Or does he maybe use it as building blocks in a terrarium, because pumice is very light, and it is quite ideal to use in a terrarium. I've heard and I'm told. I don't have it myself yet. I hope to find some lava stones or pumice to use in a future terrarium, because that can actually really help. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys did with the volcanic rock writing prompt or pumice raft writing prompt, and I wish you all a lot of fun writing. And let me know how your story flows and what your character surprised you with. Happy writing! And that is the end of our word sprint. How did you guys do? I managed to write 674 words, and I sent Nejat back to Dragon City. I have to say, he was barely in any condition to disagree with that. And Ruark made that very clear to him. So he just met his father on the courtyard, and his father was not happy. But we'll see how that continues when I keep on writing this part. There is some good news, and Ruark and Nejat managed to open up one of the nests, and there were a few baby flutter-nymphs in there. They were all curled up around each other, and there were 2 eggs in there. And yes, they were hurt, they were harmed, but it seems that they might recover completely from it. So we'll have to see about that. Jess, Becca and Daniel are now officially married. Ah, okay, that's good, that's good. So have they had their dance and things like that? And how is she doing at the moment? And how does Daniel feel about how Becca is doing? Is he, does he realize that, or does he see that she's not in the best shape at the moment? Because I remember you told us about that earlier on. I mean, it can't be easy for Becca, and I hope that things will. Well, no, I can't say that because I know what you said earlier. I really feel sorry for Becca. I really do. She's a tough character, and she has a lot to go through. I imagine. I mean, if you look at it, we all often decide as an author we put our characters through tremendous things, tremendously bad and tremendously good. And one of the advices I have heard from the beginning, well, not from the beginning when I started writing, because that was as a teenager, and I mean, we didn't have internet back then, or at least not like we have now, and it was completely different. And but later on, when I got more into when I got more into the writing community, I heard the advice: put your character through the worst that can happen, that they can imagine that can happen to them, and once that's done, put them through something even worse, and in the end, hopefully they will have overcome everything, and they will live a happily ever after, or whatever it's good for them. So we all tend to make things worse for our characters every now and then. I know Nejat has a lot coming, so this is just a tiny thing. And I mean, he's a dragon companion. He's used to fighting. He's used to being in troubles like that. Sorta. So it's just, I don't know, occupational hazard, I assume. Just to say, you did one chapter from the point of view of Becca, who's looking at it through memories, and one from the point of view of Alex. It's the one time Alex is more reliable. Ah, okay. Alex is kind of commenting on what's happened, something Becca didn't remember in the ceremony. Is Becca just started giggling during the vows. She was really nervous, I assume. I mean, I can imagine that, especially if my apologies, especially if the bride is in a situation like Becca is. Then, I mean, if I were in her situation, I might giggle as well, just out of straight nerves, and just, I mean, yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, having a wedding and having all these ceremonies and everyone around and things like that, that in itself is already nerve-wracking. Of course, depending on who you are and how much you had to do yourself, and etc. etc. But if I were in that situation, it would be nerve-wracking for me. So yeah. Well, Alex is terrified by it. Oh, really? Oh, is she? Is he? Is she? Alex. Wait, Alex was the guy, girl. I'm lost for a moment. Does Alex think it is a sign of losing her sanity? Exact. That was just what I wanted to ask. It comes across as kind of losing her sanity. Yeah. Well, in her case, I can imagine. You say Angel is the guy. Oh, right. And I thought it differently. Right. Angel is the guy. Alex is the girl. Okay, perfect. Right. And Amadi is the guy. Okay, I got it straight again. Yeah, I can imagine as someone who expects something else on a wedding that that might come over as strange, at least, if not indeed a sign of losing the mind or whatever. But I can imagine in this case, it's kind of sort of logical or perhaps expected, or could be expected. Let me put it that way. How is Becca? How does Becca feel about it afterwards? When she's told about that, does she recognize it, or does she not even? You said she didn't realize it, so does she? I don't know. You say it's kind of tragically funny because Daniel is just there like, what? Ah, yes. I can imagine that. Yeah, I mean, if your bride just starts giggling through the vows, yeah, that can be really weird, I imagine. You say there, Becca is looking back at it, and she doesn't have quite the correct memories about it. So how does she respond to what Alex tells her about it? Does she feel like I don't know, that she should be ashamed, or does she feel like that were the nerves coming out, or I don't know. How does she feel about it? Because I can imagine when I would be told something like that, I think my first response would be to feel ashamed. That's just me, because yeah, it can be weird. Of course, it also depends on the vows that are being said, but in this case, I assume the vows were not something to laugh about, or did not contain anything to laugh about, or to giggle about. Oh, Alex doesn't tell her. Oh, it's just an observation. Obviously, Alex and Becca have different experiences on the day, because Becca is with Daniel and Alex is with Angel. Yeah, okay. I see. Is it something Alex will refer to at some point in the future? That maybe she saw it as how shall I say that? As as a first sign of something, or perhaps something to keep an eye on, or to talk about at some point. with Becca or with someone else besides Angel and Amadi, that is. I mean, it can be easy if you if the bride is a friend of yours and she reacts like that during the vows. It can be easy to watch that and um, to see where it's going. Just to say, it's funny actually. Alex disappears after the wedding. No spoilers about what happened though. Oh, so she never brings it up. Okay, I see. But seeing the fact that Alex noticed it, then I assume the mother will have noticed it as well. How does Becca's mother respond to that? Is she scolding Becca about it, or doesn't she say anything about it? Is that did she perhaps feel ashamed, or I don't know. So many possibilities that the one sentence brought about. Only knife eyes. That's all. Oh, I'm surprised. I would have expected the mother to really lash out on her. I mean, it's a little thing, but on taken on the whole, seen on the whole, it's just a little thing. But seeing what you told about her mother, I would have expected that her mother would have scolded her or lash out at her. I don't know. So I'm surprised she only had knife eyes at her. Oh. Maybe afterwards she would. Okay. But you haven't really gotten to that part. Okay. Well, to be honest, I hope that if she does that afterwards, that Daniel will at least in some way try to protect Becca. Because, I mean, at that point, she is his wife, and I mean, shouldn't the husband kind of protect the wife in such a case? I mean, then again, seeing their relationship, yeah, that might also be tough. Yeah, I can see that as well. So yeah, it's an intriguing story you're writing. It's your characters do not have an easy way of life, and in life, I should say. It's incredible. It's incredible, and I'm glad that you feel free enough to share it all with us, because your story is not an easy story to write, I imagine, and it touches on so many important topics that are still nowadays incredibly points of discussion even. And I mean, for Becca and her mental state, I mean that too is in nowadays society is still really an issue. So I think it's very good that you touch on subjects like that, and that you dare to pick it up and write about it and show how people truly feel about topics like that, and how the characters feel and go through their lives while they suffer from it, while they have to go through being scolded by their mother while they are an adult. I mean, at 20, right? She's 20 years old, if I remember that correctly. I mean, at 20 years old, you do not want to be scolded by your mother, especially if your mother is forcing you into a marriage. So that when you're married, you reach a point where you say, okay, or at least that is what I imagine. Okay, mom, dad, it's been fun, but now I live with my husband, and I have my life, so stop butting in. But I know there are plenty of examples where mothers still force their way into things. So, or fathers. I mean, it depends on the character, on the person. So yeah. Jesse say yes. There's probably going to be a whole chapter exploring intense postpartum depressions and everything for obvious reasons. Ah, okay. I totally understand. Yes, it's such a tough period for her, and I mean it's those are things that she can use the loving care of her mother, but if her mother can't do that, can't offer that, and also this moment is also the wedding and such is also the time where she needs the love and support of her family instead of what her mother does. So yeah, Becca has a tough life. I feel sorry for her. And I really hope that at some point she can find a way to experience a life that might be a bit better for her. I hope. I keep my fingers crossed for Becca, and I hardly even know her. I mean, I just know that little bit that you told us about, and I really feel sorry for her. So yeah. Okay, it's 2:30 already. Oh, 2:35. Wow, I did not see that one coming. Um, in that case, I want to suggest that we go in for another live sprint, for another word sprint of 25 minutes, and I will see if I can find another writing prompt for you guys, because that um, is of course also fun to do. Let's see. Um, right. Okay. Dental care. This is something. I mean, I really hope that I can experience in some time in the coming years. It's an article I ran into. I found where they say that in several years' time we may not have any more cavities, and they say organoids pave the way for enamel regeneration. And essentially, if I understand it correctly, you get some kind of treatment where they don't need to drill and all the other treatments that you normally would get, but you get a rather easy treatment, and all your teeth and molars and everything will be restored again, and you don't need any hard things anymore, pain causing things. Let me put it that way. I mean, that would be awesome. But how is dental care for your character and in your world? Is it like if your story plays right here, right on Earth? Does she have dental care? I know that. I mean, here in the Netherlands, we have that as an extra insurance on top of our normal healthcare insurance. Or we can choose to have that as an extra insurance, and not everyone does that. I mean, especially people who never have any problems with their teeth. I mean, why would they pay a monthly extra insurance when they never need to go to the dentist? Or, I mean, that's not necessary. At least that's what they think. Or is dental care something that is included in healthcare, in your basic healthcare? Does your character have dental problems, or does she have a beautiful oh, how do I call that? um, let me check that. does she have a beautiful teeth? Okay, so that sounds kind of weird, but or does she have beautiful teeth and well, basically everything in her mouth? Is it all nice and white and straight and things like that? So see if you can use that writing prompt in our next writing session of again 25 minutes. I wish you all a lot of fun writing and surprising your characters. Happy writing! And that is the end of our next word sprint. Or current word sprint, I should say. How did you guys do? I managed to write 674 words and found that Nejat is really, really stubborn when it comes to physical injuries. So this is going to be interesting. And Nejat's father, the king of Dragon City, the king of the Dragon Companions, he's kind of anxious, but also shows that he really has no idea on how things can heal or not, because he suggests to one of the healers that, I don't know, maybe you can give him something to stop the poison while we're waiting to find out what exactly the poison is. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So it's weird. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I can see where it's coming from. I mean, he's just anxious about his son. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing in a way. Dina, welcome back. You're just back home. You're saying you listened a bit in the car and heard the prompts. You could make an entire podcast about using volcanoes and all that. Well, that's interesting. Let it keep on coming. What's up with the emojis? You only see these ugly YouTube emojis? I have no idea. Let's see. I can select people. There are a few buttons at the top of the emoji screen, and the first is YouTube, and then it's people, and then nature, food, travel, activities, objects, and symbols. And if you click on people, then you see the normal emojis. I don't know. Yeah, the YouTube emojis are I don't know. Apparently they now prioritize them. I don't know why. So you could latch on. You could latch on to that later, though. You mean the emojis? I just checked on it. You don't get any of those below the YouTube emojis. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. Are you on your cell phone or on your computer or laptop? Because that might make a difference. Let me see if I can find that. And hey, Gema, please tell me if I mispronounced your name, because I don't know how to pronounce your name correctly. Welcome. I haven't seen you before, so welcome in the chat, and welcome here. If you don't know me yet, my name is Ilse. I'm a magic-wielding dragon companion and creator of worlds, and today we are doing several writing sprints for NaNoWriMo, and well, basically for anything, because I know I won't get my target of 50k for NaNoWriMo, so I'll just keep on writing because I've got a lot to do. And Gama, you say it's correct, it's an abbreviation. Ah, okay. May I ask what the abbreviation is about, or is it something you cannot share? It's totally fine if you cannot share it. No problems. Did you say it could be the latest update on your laptop and not your settings at all? Well, let me see if I can see on my cell phone what my YouTube does. If anything pops up when I try to comment somewhere. Oh, this is weird. Right now I only have the emojis of one particular channel that I was given the membership to. So apparently YouTube seems to have changed a few things, and that is on my cell phone. So I have no idea what's going on. It is pretty annoying though. So I think it's not necessarily something that is on your laptop. I think YouTube did something. Gamma, Oh, it's Gada. Okay, okay, that's interesting. That's a beautiful name. Thank you for sharing it with us. And you say you're using the emoji on your cell phone. Okay, well that's good to know. So apparently YouTube may have done something, and it's not for everyone. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Well, at least I can use it on my laptop. Well, right now I can still use it, um, but indeed on my cell phone I can't. So we will see how that progresses through the afternoon. Um, I mean, YouTube can be really weird with testing things out and seeing what works and what doesn't work for people. So maybe they, for some reason, have limited things um, for a certain amount of users to test things out. I know they do that also for us creators. Some of us get a few things to test, while others have to wait until things become become available for us. So YouTube regularly tests things out to see what the audience thinks about it and how they use things. So I don't know. It could be something like that. And right now I am working on my laptop and I have YouTube open there, and there I have all the possibilities for the emojis, while I don't have those possibilities on my phone. So I don't know what YouTube is doing. Sometimes YouTube is just weird, plain weird. But I think, let me see if I can find that. There is a website where you can also copy and paste emojis. It is this website, and perhaps that can help. If you are on a laptop, or if you can open it on your phone and copy and paste it from there. It's the only thing I can think about it. I can think about. Gema, would you like to share what you are working on right now? What kind of project you are working on? I always love to hear that from other authors and from people who join us in the chat. To see what they are working on, and if you have any writing questions or world building questions or topics you'd love to talk about, just post them in the chat. You're free to do that, and we will see what we can help you with and what we can talk about. Those are always fun things to do. And so, let me scroll back. Jess, how did you write? How did your writing go? I'm looking forward to hearing more about Daniel and Becca. They really are quite the pair, shall we say. In fact, you have research that you're stuck with for so long and you need motivation. Well, I mean, we're writing here, so you're welcome to join us in that. And if I may ask, what is your research about? And is there anything we can help you with that? In chess, you wrote 523 words. Excellent! It felt like so much more. Well, you know, as long as you feel right about the story, about what you wrote, then it doesn't matter if it's only 522 words. You wrote 522 words. I mean, that's amazing. I have times where I write maybe a couple of hundred words in half an hour. So it also depends on how the story flows in your mind and what you have already decided on that needs to be included in your story, or what you still need to work out. I find, like I said in previous live streams, the part of the Tergaenae Chronicles I'm working on currently is the background story of the relationship of Nasya and Nejat, and I haven't made any outline for that. So sometimes I'm really looking for things not necessarily thinking about what to include next, but more how do things flow, and is that character here or is that character somewhere else? And I mean, you won't believe the amount of notes I have written in my story, like, okay, that character, can it be there? And okay, what knife or other weapon did he or she use 10 pages back? So I just make notes of that to see how things go, or to progress, I mean, and later on see how things how I can solve things. Gemma, you have a problem with perfectionism and not letting go. Oh yeah, I can imagine that. The only tip I can give you, especially for first drafts, and if you are writing a research paper, essentially the same applies. The first draft is getting it all out. I always compare it to a sandbox. The first draft is throwing all the sand in the sandbox, and once you've got it all out, then you can start building the sandcastle, and then you can start making sense of things that might not made of sense before. And essentially, I mean, I haven't done extensive research in the past in my previous professions, but I had to write policy papers and things like that, and I would normally start with a sort of table of contents and work my way through that. And after that, once I had written that, then I would go through the papers again and see what needs to be adjusted, and what more information I needed to include, or what information I needed to take out. I mean, those politicians are not always easy, and sometimes they say they want half a page of information, and in the end you need to deliver 10 pages of information because they were not satisfied. Yeah, I've been there. So research and policy pieces and basically everything you write, if you see the first draft of that paper or your novel or whatever you're writing, if you just see that as your sandbox, and the sequel drafts as building your castle, that might help, and it can help you get over that perfectionism. You need that basic information, and from that basic information you can continue to grow your story, to grow your research paper. Did you say here on your cell phone you have to pack the keyboard and you don't get a writing pad for your screen pan, and only YouTube emojis? Weird. I don't get that. I really don't understand what's going on. Just you say Alex wasn't there for the if anyone objects to this wedding because she took Becca's brother to the toilet. Oh my. Oh, that could have been such a fun scene to watch. I mean, I suppose that she would have objected to the wedding, and that might have been an awkward moment for Becca, but it might also have been a liberating moment for Becca. So I kind of feel sorry that she didn't get to be there. And just you say in response to Gamma, you too, NaNoWriMo has really helped you with that. And Dida, you ask, or you say, Gamma, that's a procrastination problem. And may I ask what your genre is? Gamma is doing a research paper, so it's not a fiction genre. Just convenient, yeah. But I am, just like Dido, very curious, Gamma, to hear what your research topic is, and what is the purpose of your research. Because it's pretty fascinating to hear someone writing a research paper. Either you say, okay, you miss out on that. No problem, no problem. I can. That's logical. That's why I say that. It's research is. I mean, there's a reason I didn't go to university, because I didn't see myself fit to intense things like that. And in college, I didn't need to write highly detailed research papers, so that was a little bit easier for me. You say, Dida, it is procrastination. In fact, it's about organization behavior. Oh, okay, okay. And in what kind of organization do you do that? Jazz research is insane. You've written 19K for this novel, but your 10K work thesis felt longer, so props to you. Yeah. And Dida, you broke your procrastination in fantasy, but still have it in other things, so that's relatable. Yeah, I think procrastination is something that everyone experiences, even those people who say they don't procrastinate. Everyone just has these moments where they just don't want to do something, whatever it is, and it's not always easy to break that, but oftentimes it's also good to look at why you are procrastinating. What is the deep cause of that? I mean, of course, there's perfectionism, and to a certain degree, I agree with that. At the same time, perfectionism is something that, especially when writing and when writing research papers, etc., it is something that you can work in later on during the process, and you don't have to wait with your first draft until it's perfect. Especially because you will find later on, when you start rewriting or editing your first draft of your research paper, you may find that you need additional information or additional notes or footnotes or whatever, or sources, to make it better. And that is that at that point you start making it more perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect from the beginning. You say, Jess, it is insane. Yeah, it is. I can only imagine, but I imagine it is insane indeed. Dida, you don't procrastinate your fantasy anymore. Sometimes one needs something else, like sleep or food. Yeah, that's pretty essential. Yeah. I mean, otherwise we can't keep on going. And just you ask Gemma what Gemma is studying. That is that's a very interesting question. Organizational behavior. I can imagine something like HR, but also completely different things. Something like business consultancy, or but I don't know. So I have the same question as Jess does. What is your study field? It's very interesting to hear. And also, you say you are doing a research paper on organizational behavior. Do you do that in a certain organization, or is it more theoretically a theoretical paper? And how does your process work? And what can we, as writers, as authors, for fantasy and other genre stories, what can we learn from that process and from the way you do things? Have you seen or experienced things that you can use in that? Gemma, you say bachelor degree in business administration, last year dissertation. Oh, that sounds awesome. So next year you can start working in business administration. What is the job that you have in mind to start with after your dissertation? once you're done, is there a certain dream job that you have in mind, or something where you say, well, you know what, I want to start right now with this and later on grow into that? I have no idea about that business field. I've never been in business administration. And that brings so many questions. You're not sure yet, to be honest. Okay. Well, I mean, you have the time. There's loads of time to decide on that, and you can just try things out to see what will work for you, and don't get pinned down by things other people say that you have to do. I mean, you do it the way you can do it, and the way you experience as a good experience. That is what matters the most when finding a job and when working in a new field, because it's not always easy, and it's not supposed to be easy, I guess. But it is supposed to be something you can really, well, and enjoy in a kind of way. Enjoy in a way that you like going to work, because that's the most important thing. If you do not like to go to work, yeah, you may have a serious problem. So yeah, look for jobs. See what kind of descriptions you see at job openings, and also old job openings if you can find them on sites like Indeed or Young Capital and things like that. They might even still have some old job openings on their sites, and that can also give some insight into what you might be able to do and what you might like, and especially that. So it is right now almost 3:30. Again, wasn't that? No, it's really 3:30. I would like to start another writing sprint, if you all are ready for that. And let's see if I can find another fun writing prompt for you guys. Let's see. Oh, this might be one. This could be fun. Oh no. Yes. Oh no, that's it's good for world building, but not a handy prompt right now. Right, this might be interesting. Okay, ancient Rome's finest glass. You might be surprised. Apparently, it was made in Egypt. So, your writing prompt for today, for this writing sprint, I should say, is the origins of fine glass. What does your character know about it? Does she do anything with it? Is she even interested in ancient things? Does she perhaps just see something pass by in her Google feed, or on YouTube, or in a news article in a newspaper? Or maybe something is mentioned in a book or in a documentary somewhere that tells something about this subject. So see if you can use it, and let me know after the word sprints how you are doing. And we start another word sprint of, oh wait, I need to reset my session targets. Yes, done. We're starting another word sprint of 25 minutes, so I will see you in 25 minutes. Happy writing, and may your characters surprise you. And may your research surprise you. Enjoy! sorry, we only have 5 more minutes in our sprint. I pressed the wrong button, my apologies. So my clock is still running, so when that goes, that is the end of our sprint. It's not right now. My apologies again. And that is the correct end of our current word sprint. How did you guys do? I managed to write 617 words, so that was a good thing. And believe it or not, Nejat and Nasya finally met, and it was not the best of meetings, I can tell you that. She currently does not think highly of Nejat, which is not that much of a surprise, seeing the fact that he kind of fled Dragon City to avoid her, to avoid welcoming her and the rest of the delegation that came with her. Because he really isn't in the mood for a relationship or a marriage with a woman he has never met and doesn't know. And he is already in a relationship, or at least he feels that he's in a relationship. Others might think in another way about that. But at least Nasya and Nejat met after loads and loads of words. But okay, they met. I mean, they couldn't have met earlier simply because Nejat was in this other city saving those protonyms. So yeah, they finally met, and Nejat was confronted with a peculiar medical instrument that one of the healers brought, and he was like, "Okay, can you maybe not? I mean, maybe not use that." And luckily, the healer was able to reassure him and say, "Oh no, I'm not going to use this on you. I'm just wondering about the poison and how I can replicate it so that I can heal you." So yeah, he's not. I mean, he's used to getting injuries, perhaps a cut of a knife or a sword or whatever. But this is something he isn't used to. This is kind of new for him. Being poisoned in this degree is something he hasn't experienced yet. So yeah, how that's gonna turn out, I have no idea. And how Nejat's and Nasya's relationship is going to evolve after this, well, that is something we will have to see. I mean, I have this idea. I've written several pieces already and written a chapter in book 3 or book 2 or book 4, wherever it may end up, about them. And my idea has always been that they already had an established relationship at the start of the main story. But you know, they have some serious growing to do. They have some serious relationship work to do if they want this to work. And at the moment, Nasya has the idea, well, you know what? No, I don't want this. I don't want you. I don't want to get to know you. Just leave me alone and get the hell out of here. But there's this slight problem. Nejat is severely poisoned, so he needs to be treated, and she's asking the healer who was going to treat Nejat if she can help. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. So I have no idea what's going to happen in the next writing session. It so far it's pretty hilarious. It's pretty hilarious. I do have to admit, guys, that I'm really starting to get tired, and it is 4 p.m. and we are 3 hours into the writing sprints. I want to do one more writing sprint, and then I'm going to call it a day, because I need to make dinner as well, and I'm really tired. So I noticed that I'm having more trouble finding my words and getting it decently on paper, digital paper. So yeah, I'm going to do one more writing sprint and then I'm going to call it a day. My apologies if I cause you to yawn as well. That is just me being really tired. But I don't want to leave you guys with only one writing sprint today. Tomorrow I will do another live writing sprint session. I need to check if I set the time for that correctly, because I don't remember if I did that correctly. It does start at 1 p.m. Whether I set it correctly in the YouTube planner or not. Yeah, day 30, that's tomorrow. Yeah, it is indeed set at 3 p.m. No, it's set at 3 p.m. Wait, it's set at 3 p.m. It should be 1 p.m. So I'm going to change that. If I need to check one more thing. Nope, no other appointments. So tomorrow 1 p.m. despite what YouTube says. I'm going to correct that right now. Okay, YouTube is being weird. So I am going to set the proper time for tomorrow. Tomorrow I will do another writing sprint live stream at 1 p.m. It has been set correctly now. And then we will see how far that we can all get. And like I said, it starts at 1 p.m. again. I will do several writing sprints and give you several writing prompts to help you during the writing sprints. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you will be notified when the live stream starts, and that way you will always be notified. I normally do, for those who don't know, I normally do weekly live streams, writing sprints at Friday 3 p.m. Amsterdam time. So tomorrow is 2 hours earlier than my normal time on Thursday, because after all, it is the last day of NaNoWriMo. And Friday we will have the Thank God It's Over live stream, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all your milestones and achievements which you will manage to achieve with NaNoWriMo, or with any other project you did, with any other writing project you did. And if you have any questions that you'd like to see answered during one of the live streams, or perhaps topics to talk about during one of the live streams, you are very welcome to submit a form for that. It is linked in the description below, but I'll also paste it here. Let's see if yes, that is the correct form. You can use that form to ask your questions, submit topic suggestions to talk about, and I will see if I can talk about everything that gets submitted. If not, I will just postpone the other topics and questions till the next live stream. So I will try to answer everything in one live stream, but I might not get to it to all of the questions and suggestions. So those that I can't answer in the next live stream, they will be ported over to the next live stream. So your questions and topics and suggestions will be answered and will be talked about. So I have one more writing sprint for you. Let's see if I can find one more writing prompt. Let's see. You know what? lights, camera, action. Inspired by the lights around me. Let's see what our characters do with that. Well, in my case, my characters won't do anything with that because it is Tergaenae is a fully fantasy world and has no nothing of our modern day tools and sophistication, etc., etc. So that is Tergaenae is a completely different world. Um, think medieval-ish, high fantasy. Then you have Tergaenae. So no cameras, no cell phones, nothing like that. They do have communication devices, but they work really different from our communication devices. So that again is also very different. But that is why it is fantasy. So, what I forgot to ask, Jess and Gama and Dida, how did you guys do? How did the writing go? Did you manage to write anything? And Gama, did we manage to get you out of the procrastination? And did you manage to write something for your dissertation? I'm very looking forward to hear about that. Like I said before we go to the next writing sprint. From what I have now discovered, the relationship between Nasya and Nejat is going to be, well, based on what I have now discovered, I think it might at times be quite explosive. And I mean, Nasya has her own personality, of course, and she is not someone who will just accept that she has been ignored. So Nejat's gonna pay for that. I mean, she does respect him. I hope. Let me put it that way. I hope that she does respect him for saving those platinums. But how it will go from there, I have no idea. So that is one of the big questions that I will answer in the coming days, weeks, months. Well, no, not months. In the coming days, potentially weeks, because I mean I've been writing in this background story for quite a while already, and it's wonderful to be able to write it. Let me say that first. But I did not expect that it would be so long and that it would grow to be basically its own novel, its own prequel novel. So I will have to see how that goes. But I like it anyway, so that's not a problem. So I hope that you guys have done well and that we managed to pull Gama out of the procrastination and into writing. And I hope the others did well as well. And with that, I want to start our last writing sprint of today. 25 minutes with the writing prompt, lights, camera, and action. I wish you all happy writing, and I'll see you in 25 minutes. Did you say in a world full of distractions, you'll finally go and open that file and write some? Chores, they never end, do they? Exactly, I know that feeling. Happy writing. I hope you can do as much as you'd like in your story. that is the end of our final word sprint. How did you guys do? I have to admit, I had a bit of a problem writing. I found it hard to see where I should go next and what, how shall I say this? How, or rather, what was going to happen next? One thing, Nejat truly learned that he was really very badly poisoned, and he experienced the downsides of that. He still has some downsides of that to experience, and I'll get him through that. But yeah, this was a difficult piece to write because I wasn't quite as clear about how things would evolve, like I was before. Before it seemed to flow a lot more. Perhaps it's because I'm simply just too tired. So it is a good thing, I think, that that this is the last writing sprint, and I'll see how it goes tomorrow. Oh, I almost forgot to say, I managed to write 609 words, so that is decent, despite the fact that I felt it wasn't going at all. So I'm to be honest quite surprised about that. So yeah, it was a good last session. Let's put it that way. Like I said, tomorrow we will have another session at 1 p.m., not 3 p.m. I have adjusted that, so if you're looking for another writing sprint tomorrow, hit that subscribe and like button and you will be notified, and the bell button, let's not forget that. If you hit the bell button, you will be notified of the upcoming live streams. Tomorrow is the final day of NaNoWriMo, and we will see who has been able to make that goal. Or who will make that goal, I should say, tomorrow. And then Friday, it's the thank God it's over live stream. I mean, we all have worked so hard this month on our stories and on our projects. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you how you've all done, and did you manage to achieve your own goals, and perhaps also that 50k of NaNoWriMo. I know in my community there are several people who hit that 50k really early in the month, and I really commend them for that. They are awesome writers. I mean, it's so great and inspiring to be amongst them, because they managed to do that, and they managed to keep on writing and keep on going. So that is really awesome. So a shout out to Jess and Dida, who are here today, and who managed to do that. I mean, it's really inspiring. And one of the other community members who managed to do that, unfortunately couldn't be here, or as far as I know, isn't here. Gemma, I hope that we were able to help you get out of that procrastination. Feel free to join us tomorrow as well at 1 p.m. and maybe we can help you further with your dissertation. And for others who have joined and or who have only watched, feel free to leave your questions and topic suggestions in the form that I posted earlier, and feel free to join tomorrow as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all. It was a pleasure to be here with you, and I hope that you all managed to get your goal, to reach your goals, and especially to progress in your story the way that you wanted, or have the story surprise you in a good way, which is good for your story and for your characters and for yourself. I mean, even if you divert from your outline, as long as it makes your story and your world and your characters better, diverting from your outline is all okay. I mean, why wouldn't you? You can be a pantser, you can be a planner, you can be a planter. I especially love that last one. I am a planter, and I make an outline, but it's mostly keywords, key phrases, and that's about it. No details unless it's a very, very specific thing that I want to include. But otherwise, I have no details in my outlines, and I give myself the freedom to divert from my outlines because it is my experience for my writing process that if I give myself that freedom, that my stories will become better. So that is my way of dealing with it. In this case, the background story has no outline at all, but I'm still managing to write it. So, and it keeps surprising me, and that is, it's so fun to experience that. So tomorrow, one more live stream filled with writing sessions to close out NaNoWriMo. I wish you all a lot of fun this evening with writing and other things that you might do, and I hope to see you all